You are cold. So cold. As the frigid air off the coast assaults your skin. Gentle waves lap at your ship in a steady rhythm. And as you approach the shore, that distant shadow in the background, you see lights. Lights on the village of Rochester. The village that tonight will know the wrath of the Iron Crows. Your host, the host of Galmore Grimjaw, also called Ironjaw, is large. 7 long ships, each filled with 20 men. Easily enough for this small keep and village. And as you feel the thrill rising up within you, the bloodlust, the knowledge that tonight you finally make your first strike against Aethos. Tonight you first take the step to take back your land. You notice a queer sensation. A mist starts to roll over the bay. Your hooded torches barely pierce the gloom. And soon the moon above you is blotted out. Until all it is but a hazy beacon in the sky. The 3 moons, the Father, the Mother, and the Son, hang above you, pale, covered, hidden, like your torches. And it is dark. Grom, what are you doing aboard your ship as this strange phenomenon takes place?
I'm at the front of a ship, and I just lay my immense shield on the side of the prow, and go back towards the men and go, "All right, boys. It's not never. It's not some kind of mist. Look above us. Father, Mother are looking. Make them prawn, boys." And just go like to each man and just like a tap on the shoulders. And it's probably going to tap on Nightshade's, like at one point, like going like, "Make me proud. It's yours."
And I'll just smile, this crooked grin of teeth. And if you just turn me loose, I'll tear them to pieces. Just give the order. I'm going alone. I don't care. And just he would visibly getting so excited about the carnage and bloodshed that was about to ensue.
Be quiet still. We need to be stealthy for a raid. Enjoy it soon enough. And he's going to keep going down the line. Sorry, if you agree.
In a hushed whisper, the other men standing along the prow and on the starboard and sides of the ship start whispering, "Ironbound crow, ironbound pride." And they start slapping their iron against their shield slowly. And then the headsman, the person at the front of the ship, shouts, whispers, "Oars out." And along the side, like wings of wood, oars slip and start paddling against the water, tipped in iron, as you approach the shore. Elvis, what are you doing as the order's given and the oars go out?
Elvis, he's probably up by he's actually up on in the crow's nest. Actually, he's actually like probably lead navigator of the ship. He's probably been watching the shore the entire time, and upon watching the mist roll in and the men below begin bringing up their battle cry, he's probably been keeping an eye out for what could possibly be causing this mist the entire time this has been going on.
And as you're watching, I want you to roll me a perception check from the prow of the boat.
That is 26.
You could have sworn by all the bloodless gods that you saw something black and sleek move against the water. But it didn't seem corporeal, it didn't seem real. It seemed almost as if shadow moved through water.
Knowing that Grom will probably want to know of this, I call down a signal to him to watch the edge of the ship, as it's probably getting close to him being at the head of the ship.
And as you give the signal, I don't know, some kind of whistle, probably a bird, or you just look up and go just towards the prow, grab his shield, and look like around the side of it.
And as you're looking with intent, as you are searching deliberately for something, you see it momentarily too, almost as if nothing parted the water, as if something was there but wasn't. Almost as if, well, no. Your eyes are seeing things. There's no way it could be. Could it? Some foul creature from the bloodless lands?
And he's gonna frown, like fiddle a little bit with his chains, with the pommels, like, not made of those kind of things. I'm not afraid. And he's just gonna step back and be ready, like if something pop up, like just to strike with his sword. But he doesn't want to make the men afraid, because they're just rowing for shore. So he's just gonna stand and be like just like stone-faced and waiting.
And as you're waiting,
Probably, Elvis, you probably see like it is usually a proud man and a loud man. Well, orc. So that's not normal.
But as you were waiting and watching the water calmly, patiently, instead of getting attacked, instead you would see 7 bulbous eyes, just like moons, each glowing in the water, staring back at you. They just sink down beneath the black water. But nothing happens.
Elvis, being a man who's more useful at a range, he's going to pull out his short bow and keep it trained on the waters for the next couple minutes.
And as you train your bow on the water, you wait. And you wait. Sweat drips off your brow and down your fingers as they hold the bow taut. And then with a thump, your bow meets land. Your ship meets land. The long poles go out, push you onto the shore with the skidding against the sand, against the wood of your boat, of your long ship. And whatever you saw is behind you, supposedly. The dim light of fires from the village rests just up the hill before you.
Well, men, time to go. And yeah, Grom is gonna just jump ashore and like even charging without waiting for everyone to get really ready. Like first man on the beach, first man to get the loot.
Yeah, as soon as you get the order and you jump off, Nightshade would be right behind you. He'd probably let out just a roar of excitement and just take off as fast as he can, either right beside you or right behind you.
Yeah, Elvis is going to calmly make his way down from the crow's nest and just walk.
And as you charge the shore, you hear behind you your multitude, your host of 20 men, yelling, "Iron Crow, take flight!" as they run up the beach. Large clods of sand are ripped up beneath their feet as their feet are churning, their arms pumping. Lots of them carry great axes. Several of them carry just 2 hand axes, just ready, those berserkers. And as you scream up the shore, I want you all to roll me perception checks.
$12.
16.
So target number is 14.
Yep, I actually got a 14.
Okay, perfect. So you two, you notice the oddity. Screams already coming from the town. So either somebody landed early and already started attacking, or something else. You don't know for sure. But you could already hear screams coming from the town. Women, men, howling babies, and screaming children.
How far are, well, they're probably closer, but how far am I away from the town?
You are probably about 100 feet. The rest of the crew is probably about 30 feet ahead of you, maybe 40.
Hearing this and knowing that, like, what could possibly be happening, I go ahead and, like, try and stick to the shadows as much as I can.
I did not notice a thing, so Grom is just going.
And because Nightshade actually heard the screams, it actually ensued the excitement within him. And he's actually looking like he's picking up speed, almost like he's trying to get ahead of Grom to be the first one in battle. He doesn't want him to be there first. And that's actually what he is thinking. He's like, no, I'm going to be first. I'm going to spill first blood.
Several of the men, as you reach the border of the town, you see them reach into their bags. And what they pull out is they pull out a long metal knife. And it seems to be, there's like leaves and stuff caked on the outside of it. And what they do is they take it and they stick it in their arm and drag it along. And you see their eyes go frenzied and their teeth bare, and they charge in and they just start howling like beasts as they rush into the town, as they take their stims. Who among you has the highest passive perception? What is it?
You are muted.
I believe that's Elvis with an 18.
18.
Yep, that's me, sorry.
You notice with that super high passive perception that there are no other war screams besides your own squad. And as you reach the town, as you start going through the first alleyway into the buildings, stepping into the marketplace is what it looks like. A myriad amount of people, just commoners, come charging at you. What do you do?
I think I let Nightshade or Kel take the first thing. Like, just slow down a little bit to let him like make the first blow, because I'm training him a little bit lately, and then just right after like charging, like get in. It's only peasants! Kill them!
Yeah, and with that, Nightshade's been given the order, so he's first one he comes up to, he's going to try and strike down, and he's pretty much just going to go down the line. He's not stopping; he's just charging through.
You don't even need to make a roll. How do you kill this guy?
I think it's with just my claws, just go straight for the throat and just like completely rip it as I run past him. And that's
As
pretty
your oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say that's pretty much what just happens. He's charging through, and every person he comes across, he's just trying to take chunks out of them as he goes.
Grom, explain to me what this looks like as you essentially massacre this group of fleeing peasants.
It looks bloody, like there's limbs going because you got Berserker on your side, and it's just limbs are flying, and Grom is pretty much letting his men go through and finishing off those that aren't killed in the directly, like just going swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. And it's bloody. It doesn't even take a minute. Fast even.
Man, woman, and child die the same. It's always just one, maybe two strokes of the blade. And that's it. You feel that thrill growing in you again. That knowledge lets you know that the bloodless gods are pleased. That you're freeing them from the veins of these unworthy people. And as they moan and are finished off one by one on the ground, you start to understand something, Elvis. With your crazy passive perception again, you understand that these people weren't running from you, they were running from something else. They almost seemed to be ignoring you. They just wanted to get past you. None of them did. And then you notice the other eerie thing. Even though you've massacred maybe 60, 70 peasants and their children, the screams haven't stopped. They still rebound off the walls and the cobblestones. They still sing shrill into the night. They're still screaming, or at least something is.
Noticing this, I'll give the call up to Grom and Kale, a whistle, something like that. And I'm going to actually, are there any buildings nearby? Like any tall buildings?
The church is right next to you. So there's kind of a large church with a huge steeple rising up out of the center, shaped like a 5-pointed star. So you could climb up that if you wanted to.
Yes, for a man of his years, Elvis is still just as spry as ever, so I would like to attempt to climb to the top of that steeple.
Okay, are you going to take the time to go inside and search for the door, or are you just going to climb the special engravings and all the windows and stuff just to the top? Are you gonna Hunchback of Notre Dame it, or are you gonna try and find a door?
Oh, Hunchback of Notre Dame it. What game do you think we're playing?
Okay, sweet. That's what I thought. Roll me acrobatics or athletics.
Ooh, 24.
Okay, you Ezio this thing. You just straight up all the way, just no stop. You're swinging from the gargoyles and everything, and just climbing all the way up to the top of the steeple. When you reach the top, when you get all the way up there, and you're surveying the entirety of the town and the keep, you see on the shore the other longships have landed, but no other Iron Crows are in the village. You see that other peasants are still running through the town. You see black shapes chasing them. And most of all, you see that the keep itself seems to be shrouded in some sort of a darkness.
I'm going to again call down to Grom and Kale and say, "Seems we have some more interlopers in our lands, fellows."
At Nightshade hearing that, I'm hunched over a body that was still alive, and my hands just around their throat, slowly choking the life out of them. But hearing Elvis's call, I look up to where he is, and I just snap the neck. I holler back to him, "Where are they? Point their mouth."
And I point off into the direction of the fleeing peasants and the darkness receding, the darkness spreading over the keep.
And I would immediately head in the direction that he pointed.
Follow Nightshade. Stay in groups of 5 at least. Flank them, kill them, and take their loot. Elvis, keep an eye or scout ahead. I want an eye. I want to know things. Chop, chop.
I give a thumbs up.
As you all rush off in groups, basically, kind of some of them go down different alleyways to make it so you don't miss any stragglers. You find yourselves running past what would have maybe once been some sort of a greenhouse. Large glass windows that you can see inside. Roll me perception checks.
Not so bad. 14.
Modify 20.
There we go.
Nat 20.
Oh, baby. Okay. So you two, the goal number was 14. You two see through this glass, you see other people running, other berserkers. And you watch as some sort of black shape starts taking them out one by one. Multiple of these black shapes. Leaping onto them, taking them down. You see one person screaming and running as fast as he can, and then he just falls as if something bit his leg. But you, with a nat 20, you see what they are. You see a skeletal shape wreathed in shadow. You see eyes like burning coals. You see a mouth that oozes darkness. But most of all, you feel dread. You feel death. And it sinks into every part of who you are as one of them locks eyes with you. And then it raises its head as if to howl. But instead you hear a human scream. And then these creatures come tearing away from your view.
Keep an eye out, fellows. We have something a bit more hardy than peasants to kill.
What? Night?
Great. All the more fun.
This seems to be dark sorcery that we're dealing with here.
Sorcery? This is... Oh, scrap. There's no sorcery. You must have seen things.
I know what I saw.
Okay. Boys, tight formation. Still moving on.
I'm still keeping to the rooftops. Oops, sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine. If Nightshade were to catch a view of like any hint that he understood where these things were, he would head right for them, thinking that these are the adversaries he wants to fight. These must be strong. It's some kind of dark magic. He's going for it.
So you're turning down an alleyway to go over to that alleyway?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Nightshade, who's in the lead right now, kind of immediately breaks to the right and goes down an alleyway, leading to the alley that the other group was running down.
And yeah, I will try to like, oh, Nightshade, told you to stay in for me. Fuck's sake, follow me, boys. And yeah, like a formation of people like trying to stay in group and like go cohesion.
Now, Elvis, he's a learned man. Would he have any sort of inkling as to what these things are?
People can roll me history or religion. Tell me what you rolled when you do.
19.
And was that history or religion that you rolled for?
Oh, that was history.
Okay. Historically, these things, they've always just called them dreadhounds. Is what they've always been known as. To you, you know that the first time they were ever encountered was supposedly, it's written in what they call the Iron Journal, and it's this huge book of iron plates filled with hieroglyphics. And the first time they encountered anything about these dreadhounds was way back before the descent, way back before all these different nations that like existed. Back when Aethos was ruled by you. But that's what's terrifying. One of these has not been seen in somewhere near 1,000 years. But it always said that they were a herald, a harbinger of things to come. That's what you know from your history check.
I think we need to build a wall in the north to contain these things, and have some sort of black guard to keep them at bay. Just an idea.
I would rather go iron wall.
At least you wouldn't have to keep rebuilding an iron wall. But as you tear down this alleyway to the right, going towards the alley where you saw the rest of your men get taken down in the street, you come out and you look around, and there's nothing there. Not even the bodies of the men you saw go down.
Once I got to the end of the alleyway, and I see that there's nothing around, I'd be scanning the area, sniffing the air, trying to use all my senses to try and figure out where whatever it was went. Is there any way I could maybe give a survival check or anything to track either trails of blood or anything?
Yeah, you can roll me survival. Just try and track these.
Be a 21.
What exactly tracks do you think these shadow creatures would leave behind? What tips you off as to where they went?
I think that it would be from them attacking the peasants, that there would be just the most minute spots of blood that were left behind. And I've just been fixated on it. I just zero in on these few drops of blood, and then I see another, and then another, and I just head in that direction, thinking, this must be the way.
Yeah, I almost imagine that in your berserk mode where you're just having a hard time thinking, you're almost running animalistically, like on all fours. And you're just able to see these spots of blood on the cobblestones.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, and as you sprint along, following just one drop of blood, one ring, one sign of somebody's death to another, you turn a corner and you come upon the market square, the town square, and here there are many, many spots of blood. They all seem to coagulate here. It's almost as if they were gathered. And you see, standing in the middle of the square, 4 berserkers fighting for their lives. As you watch 2 of them go down to these creatures. And one of them lets out a roar of rage. And you see him swinging a massive axe made of black steel. And his teeth clack and spark as he slams them together. And you know this is Iron Jaw. As he's swinging overhand and overhand, trying to keep them at bay.
Without even thinking, I would charge right for the nearest one. Just the nearest one in general, not even the one he's trying to fend off. And I just dash towards him, and I'm pretty much just going to tackle and try and take it to the ground.
So you're first in the square. There are 4 of these dog things. You have a surprise round. Everybody else who's following you does not. So go ahead and do your surprise round, and then we'll all roll initiative.
Okay. Yeah. So for the action, I actually have the charger feat. So I want to dash at it, and I'm able to make a melee attack as bonus action. And I pretty much just want to be like, so on all 4s, I just rush at it, and I am one clawed hand extends as I try and like grip where I think this thing's throat is.
Okay, go ahead and make me an attack.
It's at 18.
Okay, so 18 will hit, definitely.
That's going to be 11 damage because of the charger.
Okay. So your hands are closing with like your claw around its throat?
Yeah, where I would think that its throat would be if I'm able to make it out.
Okay, so you know like when you like squeeze putty, there's like a little bit of resistance, but like eventually it gives. So that's what happens. Like it's almost as if the throat's resisting, and then your hand just goes through, and your fingers close around bone.
Yeah, and just and I would just keep my grip there as a way of I've got you now, can't escape. And with that, that would be my turn.
Okay, everybody go ahead and roll initiative now.
Six.
15.
And 10.
All right, go ahead. Oh wait, it's red hands. Okay. The one whose throat you just clamped your hand down around, its head like rotates towards you, and its mouth opens, and a human scream comes out, and it's gonna clamp down on your shoulder with its teeth. That is a nat 20. Okay. So the way I do nat 20s also is when you hit with a nat 20, you roll your damage dice, you add your modifier, and then you double it. So this is gonna hurt, dude. Okay, take 28 points of damage. So these teeth clamp down on your arm, and they start to rip and tear, and you feel like almost like shadow dripping into your body, and you watch as your arm, the skin, the scale starts to slough and fall away as its bite appears to be necrotic or poisonous of some kind. That'll be it for the first Hellhound thing. Dread Hound. The second one turns and attacks. Well, it's going to keep attacking Ironjaw, and it's going to land its hit, dealing 16. The other one is going to attack the Berserker next to him. I'm going to hit for 12. And the other one will attack the other Berserker again and miss. Okay, that is it for the Dreadhounds. Next up is Elvis. Your go.
So I owe just as much loyalty to Ironjaw as I do Grom, if not more so. So I'm going to attack the Dreadhound attacking him. So they're not aware of my presence. So do I get sneak attack?
I will give you sneak attack, yes. Especially because this one seems completely focused on Ironjaw.
Fantastic. So with my short bow, I get a 9.
Your arrow looks like it hits, but it just seems to pass through it. It doesn't even feel it.
Okay, I'm going to use a cunning action to hide.
Okay. Just post what your stealth check is in the chat.
Gotcha.
Okay, going to Ironjaw. Ironjaw howls in pain as this thing clamps around his thigh. It's almost ethereal skeletal teeth sinking in, and he looks down at this thing and he reaches into his pack as it's like biting and tearing at his leg, and he pulls out one of these daggers. It looks like a little punching dagger, and he slams it into his arm and like scrapes it across. You see his eyes flare and become bloodshot almost immediately. And he screams and raises his axe and is going to attack this thing twice, both at advantage because of the stim he just took. And he will hit both times. And he has heavy weapon master. So he chops down once on this thing's neck and lifts it up again and brings it down on this thing's back again. And shadow just starts to leak from it. You hear snap as some of these bones break. And he deals a total of 28 points of damage to this one. And that'll be it for Ironjaw. Nightshade.
Alright, so as this thing has sunk its teeth into me, I picture that it's still latched on. And I look over at it. Is that all you got? And still with my hand around the bone of the throat, I'll bring my other fist up and I'm just going to start laying into the skull. And do you want me just to go ahead and roll both the attacks? And
yeah, go ahead and roll both attacks.
Okay.
You're not necessarily grappled, but yeah, go ahead and roll both attacks.
All right. One of them is going to be 10. The other one is a nat 20.
10 misses, 20 misses. No, okay, definitely hits. Yeah, so go ahead and roll me your damage dice, add your modifier, and double it.
Okay. So it's going to be 16 points of damage.
What does that nat 20 look like as you start punching this thing in the side of the head?
Picture that the first one, he goes in and he swears that he connected, but it just looks like it passed right through the shadowy mass. And then he brings it up, readjusts, and just brings it in. But when he brings it in, the last moment, he kind of just like flares his claws out to try and dig his claws into this thing's skull. And he's just hoping that it pierces right into it, into the bone.
And as your fist kind of comes around as you start to claw on it and open your hand, his mouth opens like it almost is trying to get away. And your fist manages to close around his lower jaw and rip it free. So this thing, here, let me roll a luck die real quickly. That's a 1 on the luck die. This thing is not going to be able to make any more bite attacks.
Right on. And for I can make but as a bonus action, I can make one more attack.
Mm-hmm.
But what I want to see if I can do is maybe if I can throw this thing, since I still have it kind of around it, if I can maybe just toss it to the side.
Then that's fine. Sure, go ahead. Go ahead and make me a contested strength check against it. So go ahead and use athletics if you have athletics.
Awesome.
Oh, in nat 20s.
I got a really good one. I got 22.
Yeah, so you start to toss it, you feel his legs start to give beneath it, but then it's almost as if the body itself like separates itself apart, like the vertebrae in the neck that you're holding separate out and you lose hold on it, and your hand kind of just slips through. Okay, is that it?
Yeah, he would, after seeing that, he would just kind of ready himself and square off with this beast.
Okay, cool. All right, Grom.
Okay, so can I get directly into melee, or is it a bit too far?
You can get directly into melee.
Okay, so I go, help, Iron Jaw! I'm gonna help my friend, and I'm just gonna lay into the beast and go, Nightshade! Make me proud this time. And I'm gonna do rally. So you're gonna heal or get 10 hit points of temporary hit points as you get a bit bolstered by that. And I'm gonna like lay on it as much as I can. First one is 17, and second one is 9. So no.
Yeah, 17 definitely hits, 9 does definitely not hit.
And that's 9 damage. So it's probably like just charging, and he's speaking at the same time, so it's not really looking, and just bash it with a shield.
Yeah, you shield bash this thing right in the face as it kind of turns to look at you, and then you see his head just swing to the side, and then it kind of just like you hear like the crunch of like bone disconnecting, and you watch his jaw just like rotate back on its neck, and then it turns and looks at you. Okay, that it?
It is it, yeah. I use all my.
Okay. The other berserkers. Okay, so the one that's with Iron Jaw is going to attack the one in front of him. And he's going to miss with like a 3. And then the other one that was with your group of you 3 is going to charge up behind you guys and attack one. And that might actually hit. Yeah, that does hit. So he lifts his great axe over his head, brings it crashing down to the one that Grom just attacked. Hitting it. Oh, wow. Max damage for 15. Okay. You hear vertebrae snap, and the creature like lets out like a wheeze of this blackness as it kind of stumbles under the force of this blow. All right. Next up are the Dreadhounds. The one whose jaw you just ripped free turns and looks at you, and you watch as its throat kind of bulges. I need you to make me. Let me hurry and check something. What kind of save this is? Make me a dexterity save. Nightshade.
That would be a 21.
Okay, you will succeed, so you only take half of this. So you take 11 points of necrotic damage. As you get like a burst, like you hear that human scream emanate from its chest and pour out of its mouth. And as it does so, blackness and shadow and umbra just pours out over you. And you breathe it in, and you feel your throat start to burn and your eyes start to water as it's almost as if the membrane inside of your body is like melting. The other one is going to keep fighting Iron Jaw. That's 1 bite for a successful hit. That's 14 points. The other one that you just hit, Grom, is going to turn towards you and snarl. And it'll bite at you, missing. And the other one's going to attack the other berserker again. And definitely hit with like a 20-something. Okay. For 13. Okay. Next up is Elvis.
All right. So where exactly did I hide?
So as you kind of came into this this town square, there was kind of a large gallows place set up where they would probably execute bandits and stuff, and you kind of duck down beneath the empty floorboards.
Of course, that's where I hid. So I'm going to go after the one going after Ironjaw again. Will I be able to get sneak attack again since I hid?
Yes, you will.
Awesome. Nat 20. All right, so let's see. That's with the short bow, so I got a D6 plus 4. $32 damage.
Whoo! Ow. Okay.
Rogues.
What does it look like as you kill it?
So I want to fire an arrow from my bow right into its eye socket, and if possible, I want the arrow to actually ricochet inside of its skull, like rattling its skull as it the smoke dissipates and it falls to the ground.
Yeah, your arrow kind of sinks into this thing's eye, and you watch as it starts to reverberate a bit, it snaps the shaft off, and you hear as the arrowhead kind of bounces inside of this thing. And I'm guessing hide action again? Hide bonus action?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, go ahead, give me another roll then. All right, going on to Ironjaw. Ironjaw kind of looks up as this one in front of him dies with an arrow through the eye, and he kind of looks up and sees you, and he kind of gives you this nod, his teeth clacking together with a clang. And he turns to the one that's fighting his other berserker ally, and he's going to attack it twice at advantage. Okay. Okay, we'll hit both times. For 24 points. As his great axe just almost cleaves this thing in two, as you hear its back snapping and breaking against the blow. Okay, next up then is Nightshade.
All right, so when this thing let out that scream and this ichor kind of came out of its mouth and started to envelop me, tried to dodge out of the way and roll. Fortunately, it wasn't quick enough and still took some damage from it, but I get to a knee and I take a deep breath in and exhale this poisonous gas, just trying to envelop it. And that is my breath weapon.
It definitely fails a dex save.
Awesome. Okay. So it's going to be 9 points of poison damage.
Yeah, this thing's body starts to spasm and shake as this poison kind of ekes out of your mouth into its. And as it kind of shakes, it starts to, its growl kind of comes deeper and more guttural, less human as it does so.
And as my bonus action, I like to just come up to it and try and lay a fist into it, with an uppercut. That's a 17 on the dice.
That'll hit, definitely.
So that's going to be 4 points of damage.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, as it kind of starts to shake and convulse, your fist just hits it in the stomach, and it kind of heaves and like kind of like a glop of this shadow, like a thick congealed glop of it just pours out of its mouth, dropping onto the ground. Okay, Grom.
So I see just like Nightshade doing well against this thing, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna steal his kill and stay on my like just like give him a little bit of space and lay into the other one. Pretty much. And that's an 18 total and a 20 total.
Both
So
hit.
both hits. And that's 8 plus 9, so 17.
Okay, 17 damage. Nice.
Yep. I hit like a truck.
It's barely alive. It's like kind of stumbling away from you, kind of pulling itself slowly away, kind of snarling like an animal in self-defense.
Okay, if it's snarling in self-defense and try to pulling away, I'm gonna taunt him and just like get the most like spit, like orcish spit in its face, like and it's gonna take an extra d8, like 2 damage more, but it's more like,
Okay.
come get me.
Yeah, it kind of like you hit it in the face with this glob of spit, this nasty thick mucus, and it kind of just like turns its head to the side as it like kind of just like kind of moves away from you, and then it starts to snarl.
It needs to make a wisdom save if it wants to attack someone else, but I don't think it's
Okay.
DC 16.
All right. If it wants to attack somebody else, DC 16 save. Okay.
Yeah.
The other berserkers. The other two are just kind of trying to deal with this one, and that's a nat 1. So we'll see what he does in a second. Okay, the other one hits though. Dealing 8 points. And let's roll d20. Okay, so the other one kind of like is like backing away, and he kind of tries to swing at it. And what happens is because of all the blood dripping off of his hands onto the weapon, it slips out of his hands, and it's going to hit Grom in the chest as it comes flying out of his hands towards you for 3 points of damage. All right. Next up then is the Dreadhounds. 3 of them left. The one that's fighting you, Nightshade, it growls menacingly, and then it's going to charge you and come up on its hind legs and try and claw you. And that'll be a 13, which I believe misses you, yes?
Yeah, you're looking for 15.
Yeah, you just easily lift your arm up and kind of just catch it on your bracer and just move it to the side. The other one lunges at you, Grom, with a bite, and that is definitely going to hit with a 25. And that'll be 15 points as its teeth just sink into your side. And the last one will attack the other berserker who's already been taking a lot of damage. And that's going to hit. 18 points, which kills him. As his weapon slips out of his hands, he kind of just like starts reaching for it, trying to like grab it before it escapes, and he leans too far, and he starts to fall. And the Dreadhound just jumps forward and rips his throat out as he lands on the ground, and he starts like fumbling at his neck, like grasping. Next up is Ironjaw. No, it's Elvis. Go ahead, Elvis.
So from my high spot, going to take another shot with the bow. Just going to roll here. So that's 26. Yeah. Let's see.
Which one are you shooting, by the way?
Oh, there's one attacking Grom, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
Okay, I'll tell you, I'll hit that one. So let's see, it's 5, and then plus sneak attack. 15 damage.
Another one bites the dust.
And hide.
Oh, go ahead. What?
And hide.
Yeah, in this case, it doesn't bite the dust. Instead, it opens its mouth and an arrow slips down its throat. Okay, Iron Jaw. He turned to the one that just killed his man. He's going to attack it twice. Hits. Hits. For 23 points, which will kill it. He comes down with a swing and cuts it clean in half, and then he brings it up around and chops its head off in the same swing, as this creature kind of fumbles and collapses to the ground. Next up, Nightshade, the one that there's only one alive, and it's the one that's fighting you.
All right, so yeah, I think I would try and get up close to it, and I want to try and grapple it around the waist.
So that would be contested strength, I believe.
That's I do athletics, right?
Yeah.
All right, so that's going to be 17.
Okay, so it got a 16, so you win.
All right, so I grapple it around the waist, and not sure if mechanically if it would work for the bonus action for my my unarmed strike, but I think it's called like a suplex. You know,
you're gonna suplex him? Do it, dude. Do it. Give me that attack, man. Suplex this son of a gun. Do it. You know what? Just because that's so cool. Just because that's so cool, roll me a luck die.
That's a D8, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
6.
What's your normal unarmed strike damage? What dice is a D8?
A D6.
A D6? Add one more D6 because you're using its own body weight against it, too.
Awesome. That's going to be 10 points of damage.
And that is just enough to kill it at 10 hit points. What does it look like as you suplex kill this thing?
Oh, and I totally picture it like it's one of those things where he just doesn't bend over backwards. He actually jumps up and does like this half backflip and just comes down with it. And not only is it its own body weight, it's his body weight with it, and it just completely accordions this thing.
Everybody starts screaming "witness." They're all like, "Witness!" No, dude, yeah, that's awesome, man. Take another point of inspiration. That's super cool. Yeah, so you suplex this piece of crap and slam it into the ground, and as it hits, it almost as if its body just melts away into nothingness, and all you're left with is a pile of bones that kind of start to turn into dust and blow away.
He would spit on the ground right next to it, and then pick up one of these bones and just kind of like put it in his mouth, and start chewing on it.
And Grom is going to spit in his hand, like just rub it, like where he's got bitten, and go, "Thanks, Elvis, wherever you are. Shade, get up." That was dope.
And he would take your hand and let you help me get up. You can actually tell that he hasn't been this beaten and bloody since he fought you. He is not looking okay right now. But he's got that game face on. But you probably know him so well that you can tell that he's hurting.
Speaking of which, I'm going to come out of my hiding place and pulling a small porcelain jar out of my sack. I'm going to open it and take a dollop of ointment out of the jar and tell Nightshade to eat this.
And I imagine this is probably not the first time that he's had to do this, but it is his first time he's been this bad. So he grimaces and then just kind of takes it from you and just wipes it along his tongue.
Did you ever roll for doses for your ointment, by the way?
Yes, I just did. It has 3 doses.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
cool.
Yeah, by the way, you get 2d8 plus 2 hit points.
And ceases to be poisoned. I'll count that for ceases to be... Okay. So something else goes away because of this as well. Something that you weren't aware of.
Ooh. Oh, hell.
So you get 9 hit points back.
Yeah, as you swallow this, by the way, you feel something being regurgitated from your body, and a big black glob, like from that other thing, comes out of your mouth, too.
So right after eating this thing, start coughing, and that black tar-looking substance comes out, and I imagine it like just straight into the hand. And I look at it and just start wiping it on the ground.
Ooh.
Yeah, it just smears. It doesn't just come off in one glob. It's like butter, like as you wipe it off on the ground. So it's pretty gross.
Your skin's smooth, though.
Yeah, it's baby bum smooth. Like if your scales have never felt so smooth.
And he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. He likes the rough feeling of it. Lets him know that he's tough and he's feel like a newborn.
And yeah, Grom is probably gonna go to Iron Jaw and go, "What the fuck is going on?"
He just shakes his head and he says, "It appears we landed before you." He kind of coughs, his blood kind of pours out of his mouth. Kind of wipes on the back of his hand, almost if he hasn't even noticed the massive amounts of cuts and scars and gashes and gouges missing from his body. We got here first. He's a big, burly human man, by the way, like huge. We got here first. Me and the other 5 long trips. We didn't know where you were. We came into town, killed a couple peasants, and then this fog came in. Don't know what it is, don't know what it's for, where it came from, but I think it has something to do with that. And he points to the keep where the shadow is. It wasn't like that when we got here. It was like that when the mist came.
We actually didn't see anything. There was mist everywhere. Then, peasant, then we found you. And Elvis, and I see he's still coughing, I think, or there's blood. Can you look at him for a bit? I don't like the look of it. And I don't know if he's listening to me because he's still on Stim.
Yeah, so he's definitely not listening to you. He's very, very high on Stim. And you roll me a medicine check, Elvis, as you approach him to check him out.
Yeah, gotcha. 17.
You think the reason why he's coughing blood is largely because he's probably on a double dose of Stim, which is a no-no. You never double dose Stim. If you double dose Stim, it is very, very bad for you. His organs are probably working overtime right now inside of his body.
Ed, just drink some soup, go to bed, you'll be fine. No, is there anything that I know of that could bring him down safely from this?
You know that this town is well known for it's the herbs that it holds. It's very well known as an alchemist area. If you could find potentially some gray root, maybe that would help. It kind of has it's like a relaxant of sorts. If you were to take a large quantity of gray root, it might help him.
Surely there's an apothecary nearby to loot. Could I search for one?
Well, you saw a greenhouse coming in, so that's a good place to start also.
Oh! I would like to, if possible, bring Grom and Nightshade along with me to safely search for this gray root to save Ironjaw, possibly.
Yeah, that's fine. The other berserker kind of helps him into like what looks like what would have once been an inn. And you hear them getting there. You guys can go back down to the greenhouse then.
While that was kind of taking place, Nightshade probably would have gone over to one of the dead berserkers that came with us, and bent down to him. And it almost looks like, maybe he might have been saying a prayer or something. But for Elvis and Grom, they know Nightshade a lot better than that. He's actually looking on the body to see if there's any extra stem. Just, you can't let that just stay there. You got to bring it with us. We could always use it. Somebody else can use it. So if there was any unused, I would have liked to try and say that. Or take that.
Yeah, roll me investigation then to check out his body. See if you can find it.
That's a 5.
5? You don't find any stim. As you're kind of searching through his pouches and throughout his armor to try and find these little punch daggers. Instead, you come away with a couple of it's called rotweed, and what it is you smoke it. It like kind of gives you it's like a cheaper version of stim, and it doesn't have as good of effects, but it's like you smoke it to get rid of pain. It makes your body feel less pain, gives you temporary hit points, but also some consequences if you do decide to take it. So go ahead and take one. We'll just call it dollop. 1 dollop of rotweed.
Is that rot or what?
Rot. R-O-T.
Yeah, and then after finding that, I just kind of like shove it into a little pouch on my side and stand up and join the others.
So, Elvis, what are we looking for?
We're looking for gray root. It's
Like, what does it look like?
it looks similar to it looks similar to mustard seed, but except gray. And it gives off a aromatic odor.
So
what is aromatic?
Something that looks like something that smells. Great. Okay,
Got it.
You look over there and I look on the other side. We good?
Nightshade would be standing there very confused because he didn't understand half the words that Elvis just said. Aromatic. It's gray. Okay.
Smell good.
Gray. Oh, okay. And he'd probably be looking at things that were obviously not it.
So everybody go ahead and roll me either perception, survival, or medicine check.
Let's roll for survival. It's probably more going to be... Oh, that's a nat 20.
You're nat 20'd?
Yeah, that's nat 20, so 24.
I'm just going to say that Nightshade just is completely going in the wrong direction with it. He's like picking up flowers and trying to fix this.
So first with the 23, I'm going to say that you do pick up the right thing, Nightshade. You don't know that it's the right thing when you turn like show it. You're just like but you can see from a distance that it is. So you see that he's picked it up, but with a nat 20, with a nat 20, I'm going to say you pick up a very familiar smell that you smelled for a long time being part of the Iron Crows, and it's the smell of stim. And what you've actually found is the root that they make stim out of.
Ooh.
So you guys have one more dose of stim if you need it.
Okay, pretty much, yeah. Grom is taking like the jar of the stuff and going like putting stuff on the side and then and just putting into his pouch and just like put all the things like at the same place on the side, and you just see like that's what we are looking for. What is he doing?
What is the plant used for stim look like? What is it? Be careful. This is gonna become canon in my world. So what does stim look like?
Okay. Do you see what like black? Oh, I don't know the name in English. Wait. Let me find you something. Got it. It looks like, if I'm on the right page, this, but the inside is like veiny and red.
So it looks a little bit like taro.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like a taro root. Okay. Yeah, so it's like this like bit like kind of like a blackish root, almost like yucca kind of a bit. And as you pull it out and you kind of split it open, it like this red juice kind of drips from it. And it smells minty. Like very like kind of like this really minty evergreen musk. That's kind of what it has.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, Grom is pretty much like breaking up a little bit and like, yeah, this is it. This is some.
Okay, well, perfect. Yeah, you guys found yourself some stim. You guys found yourself the gray root, and now all you need to do is take it back. As you guys are standing there, you hear screams. Male and female, child. And they're coming from back the way towards the boats. And then you hear more screams. And they're coming from the north, from the keep. Then you hear more coming from the east and the west.
So they're basically everywhere.
The Nightshade's head would like immediately snap up and start going from side to side, and y'all can both tell that he's slowly starting to enter that fighting stage again. Like, oh, screaming! It's time to go. It's time to rumble.
And Grom just go like in front of your eyes. Not yet. First, we regroup.
Is that like a low, throaty growl in the bottom of his throat? And then he just kind of tries to play it off like it's just something caught in my throat.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And as we regroup, like with all the like people, like we got like Iron Jaw and other folks, and well, gentlemen, I mean, we looked for a fighting stage and we got one. We got the best one around. And we are the fiercest and the bravest. You are my crew. You are Iron Jaw, Elvis, and Nightshade. We will survive this night, or just go through the last door and embrace more the war. We're gonna be heroes in our mind and in our... And I hope that inspire you with inspiring leader. So all of you get 7 temporary hit points. Well, 6 people, so at least over people than me. You decide.
So of the people you have left, you have you 3, you have Iron Jaw, you've got the one other berserker who was with you, and then you've got like 3 other stragglers who kind of made it out of the other groups of 5 that split off. So there are
pretty much
8 of you.
8 of you. Well, I'm not included in that because I cannot inspire myself. So all of them, but maybe a straggler that wasn't like looking or just like...
Yeah, one of the stragglers in the back is like picking his nose, and he just like looks up and is like, huh?
He doesn't
We're the
deserve it.
heroes.
Oh, hit points.
Oh, hit points. Yeah, he saw you chewing some of that dank stim, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we're ready to go." Okay. The howling is growing in pitch and number until it's almost like the night is completely filled with the sound. That's all you can hear. You have to shout over it for them to hear your words. But then suddenly, all at once, it stops. And that is where we'll take our 10-minute break. Everybody go ahead and go to the bathroom, grab some treats, do whatever you need to. We'll be back here in 5 to 10 minutes, okay?
That's so good. See you in a minute.
Please stay tuned for your regularly scheduled program.
And I'm pretty much back. Oh, I hope I'm not like too loud because I'm screaming so much.
No, I feel the same way, like that I'm talking like super loud.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. That's why I don't know. I have no idea if there's a chat for the live streaming, but it's just like going at top of his lung and going like, go! feels good, actually. But hope it isn't too much. I'm having so much fun.
Oh yeah, no, this is by far one of the best ones I've been in.
Yeah. And that German suplex, man, that was so cool. I was like going insane, like in my tiny window.
Oh, I was gonna be so upset if it didn't kill it though. I was like, no, this has to be the finishing move.
Yeah. But if it didn't kill him, I was going like, okay, I'm gonna use my inspiration points and just like behead it while it's on the ground. Like, you finish the thing and go.
Yeah, no, like I was so tempted to use inspiration, and I was like, no, this is like the first encounter. We got other things to do.
It's called German suplex. Come on.
Right.
There are priorities. Yeah, I have no idea where it's going. Like, I'm on my toes. Like, even like I took some things like frightens, and I'm like, well, the hellhounds, I'm not them. It's useless. But it's so good. Like, even I took like everything necessary for raid, like grappling hooks, lanterns.
Oh,
Well,
like the only things that I like bought with that gold is antitoxin in case, one of y'all got caught up in my poison.
Yeah.
And then I've got like this portable ram on my back that I've connected to a chain, and he's just like, berserker mode, I'm gonna swing this around. So,
Yeah. I was like going, okay, I need a mole to destroy doors. Then I have 3 grappling hooks because why not? 100 feet of 200 hooded because if you can't see shit, you're useless. So I'm like, okay, even you leave a lamp and we do something. One coming. 5 single whistle because why not? Like just blow it and do stuff.
right.
I was going like I got lots of gold. Let's buy all banks things. It's probably never gonna use, but I just like found it fun. Like, what can I buy that it isn't magical and isn't like, okay, I want silver on my sword to kill monsters, and I'm like, no, no, tons of garbage. Oh, the good old, I got a 10-foot long pole. No, I didn't bring that, but oh, that thing.
So when Nightshade took that first hit, that would have killed me instantly.
Oh, really?
Yes, 28. I only have 22 hit points. That would have killed me instantly.
Yeah, I'm not like midlife something, pretty much. I took like only 1 hit, but damn, does it hurt.
Yeah.
Well, I took like an ally axe.
That first
Hey,
hit
he wasn't.
down past half. Like,
Yeah, he wasn't lying when he said this is going to be deadly.
Oh yeah, no, that was totally going to be bad. And then I got those 10 extra hit points, and then took 11 damage.
Instantly gone.
Yeah.
But if I didn't have that, I would have been dead.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like I was contemplating whether like those you still had the temporary hit points, so when they went away, would you just drop dead?
Oh.
That would suck.
Yeah, I think it goes temporary points than new hit points, but it would be so cool. Like
If it went opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe temporary hit points disappear first before normal hit points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did I hear correctly? Somebody thought that I wasn't going to serious when I said I was going to be deadly?
No, I didn't think you were going to be serious, but like I wasn't expecting 28 damage on the first hit.
Dude, it's called a crit, man. And I do my crits deadly. Like my crits are deadly. They make a difference.
Hey,
Yeah,
trust me.
definitely.
Trust me, when I DM, I'm not playing around. I'm not playing around either.
But I'm just waiting to crit because I can hit really hard. Just like one. I'm probably gonna double those on Steam at one point. We'll see.
Are you playing Barbarian or Fighter?
Now fighter all the way, but I was going level-headed, but if it goes crazy with zombie skeleton and last stand, we'll see.
All I can say is that it's gonna get real by the end of this game. That was a minor encounter. Just saying.
Yeah.
That's why you guys are kind of in like a host. You guys have a bunch of other helpers and stuff, but people to soak
that's
it
the thing.
for you guys too.
Yeah, that's the thing I like about 5e is that when things are deadly, it's a little bit drawn out. When you're playing something like DCC or something OSR, it's like, you're dead. Make a new character,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harsh.
Unless somebody uses power word definitely. That's no fun. Level 9 spell. If you have less than 100 hit points, you're dead immediately. No coming back. Nothing.
No.
Yep.
That's pretty deadly.
No, busted. Well, if anybody has, so you guys can do your characters. If you have a YouTube channel you want to plug, go ahead. We'll start with Grom and we'll end with Elvis.
Okay. I have absolutely no channel. I just play or try to play a lot, but no channel. I really enjoyed it. Like, I want to shout out to Jacob for A Call to Adventure because I'm going crazy. Like, there's a game, I want to play it, and I'm just signing up for pretty much everything I can see. So thank you, Jacob. And For Grom, well, Grom is actually a complete rip-off from a book. Is from one of Joe Abercrombie's book, Alpha War with Alpha series. So Alpha Man, Alpha War, of something. And he's actually the bad guy. So he earned the name Breaker of Sword by twisting the pommel off of defeated leaders. So he got chains with like pommels on it. Thought it really cool. And he earned like his place as the war chief, as a red leader, because he can at level edit, contrary to some other folks, although Nightshade. And yeah, pretty much I'm trying to play a little bit level edit for an orc, but a toy shield and really, really tanky, and trying to survive this. I'm not sure I can make it. We'll see. Next.
Okay, going to Nightshade.
Okay, so first off, I'm Jim. I am one of the co-hosts over at RBG Enlightenment, the YouTube channel that I run with a buddy of mine. We're just getting started, so we're trying to get some content out there for you. So go over, check it out. But I am playing Nightshade, which is actually a name, is the name he goes by. His real name is Kale Colehide. He's a green dragonborn. He grew up in the mountains by himself. He was abandoned as a very young child, and learned real quick that the world is not a nice place that you have to kill to survive. And he grew up away from civilized people and races. So he didn't have a lot of contact with them. And one day he was just captured and thrown into a gladiator's arena. And he just decided one day, you know, I don't want to be here anymore. I like killing too much, and they only let me kill every once in a while. So he ended up killing all the other gladiators and the guards and some people on his way out, and just left. And that's when he actually met Grom and attacked him and got his ass kicked. But Grom spared his life and started training him and took him under his wing. And so now he just follows Grom around pretty much as an attack dog for him. And that's kind of where we're at now, is that he's a member of the Iron Crow, and is just loving every minute of it. He gets to kill as much as he wants. So I'm going to throw it over to...
Hi, my name's John. I'm kind of in the same boat. I really don't have anything to plug or anything like that. Trying to break into the RPG writing game, but nothing solid quite yet. I'm playing Elvis Overlenda. He is a human rogue. He's 57, so he's a bit on the older side, but the thing is about Elvis is that I wouldn't really say he's a celebrity or even a hero in the homeland, but he is well known as being the only surviving member of his former mercenary band, the Screaming Cats. He was the scout for them. He was under the leadership of an actual famous hero, Gundur Gunderson, who used him, like I said, used him as a scout. He was actually the only surviving member because they actually ran into an ambush that wiped out the entire mercenary band except for Elvis, who fled into the woods. So he's been living with that guilt for the past 30 years. There's not much to say about Elvis. He's very quiet, very soft-spoken, but he's definitely someone to have in a battle.
Awesome. And as always, I mean, you're watching this on my channel, so I am, I'm on a roll. Hi. And thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I got some great players. I've never played with any of these guys before, but they're doing fantastic. And I would love to have any of them in the game again. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started back into this game. That's how it starts. Just pure silence. You can hear your breathing. You can hear the breathing of those around you. And your little band of 8 sits in the tavern, quiet, awaiting what might be coming. Several of the berserkers are pouring themselves flagons of ale from the tavern's taps and sipping it nervously. You see several of them are shaking as they've already taken their stim. Ironjaw sits in the corner, propped against the wall. His breathing has come down a bit, but he still bears the symbols of his fights with gashes and scars and cuts all across his body and gouges ripped from his very skin. The bleeding from his mouth has stopped as he has swallowed some of this grey root, but he now sits there absent-mindedly, rubbing his fingers together, creating friction, burning this raw wheat between them. He looks up at the 4 of you, well, the 3 of you, standing before him. So what now? What's the next step?
To tell you the truth, I have no idea. If I was on Steam like most of these people, I think I would go for the fort, but seeing as how much of us are battered, I would aim for the boat.
What about the other 2? What do you think?
I tend to agree. We are but 8. These are many. And look at how much damage they have already done. I suggest we head up the coast, sack another village, and come back with greater forces.
I imagine that Nightshade's not paying attention at first. He's actually like digging one of his claws into the wound on his shoulder, kind of wincing a little bit at the pain, so that he's not letting himself come down from that high of battle. And then looks over. Don't look at me. You point me in the direction and I'll kill anything in my way. I definitely don't think we need to retreat, though.
His eyes are kind of almost dreamy as his rotweed fills his nose. Well, I'm in no fit state to do much. He kind of spits a little glob of blood to the side, and he kind of looks up at Grom. Says, I pass command to you for now, Grom, until I'm back on my feet.
Okay. Elvis, you take point. You scout for the boat. We see what we can do. Shade, second in command. You look after Ironjaw and keep the troops in lines. And I give like Elvis and Nightshade and all the people whistles. And if trouble comes, blow twice. If we're good to go, blow once. let's move. And it's gonna like help Ironjaw a little bit, like just help him walk because he's on nightshade and all that stuff. Like just get a move on, not stay in this place.
Okay, so I'm gonna need a group stealth check. So the two people in the group roll stealth checks, and we'll use the highest. And then you'll be rolling your own stealth check, Elvis, because you're scouting.
It's gonna be so good. So 4, excuse me, and 18. So 4. I'm great at stealth.
Mine is 14.
Okay. So you guys are fairly stealthy. 15, he's stealthier than you guys. So as you start making your way back, Elvis, you're taking point. You find your way back through the market square. All of the bodies of the peasants you slaughtered are gone. All of them. All that's left behind are little bloodstains, or large running rivers, depending on how bad they were cut. And as you reach the edge of town, where you first entered, where you first saw the horror that awaited you, I want you to make a perception check as you look down on the boats. The water is very choppy. It almost appears as if the tide is acting strangely. Nothing your boat can't handle, but it's just very, very choppy water. The rest of the group back behind you. As you're making your way through the town, again, you eventually stumble upon the marketplace. So, I want Nightshade to make me a wisdom save since you're the one who got breath in the face.
That'll be a 7.
Okay. You fail. As you look upon the marketplace, it almost seems like a veil goes over your eyes. And now you see that the bodies that were there are slowly rotting and falling apart. Mind you, you're the only one who sees this. But you watch as their bodies start to turn into shadow and their faces elongate, turning into snouts, and their eyes start to burn red. They're not moving yet, but they're changing.
At seeing that, it would be instantly. I'd probably give out a holler to Grom, and they're back. And I would immediately start like just trying to go through and swing at them before they could fully form.
You feel like your fists should be connecting, but they're not. It's almost as if what you're seeing is visible but not there.
And it would be like noticeable that I'm just getting more and more frustrated and more angry as I'm swinging at these things, hitting, but no damage is being done. To the point, it comes down to I bring both hands up in the air and try and bring it down on one of them, just slamming into the ground, letting out roar after roar.
And Grom is going to like pat himself down, get one of the whistle, blow twice. Shade, we're in. And you probably, the whistle, I repeat the thing, like, I don't know, every 15, if they, like 50 steps. Like, we got something on us.
The rest of the berserkers are looking at him very warily. They think he's under battle fever right now from taking too many stims. So they're all kind of like looking at him, and they're kind of backing a bit away because they know when the fury comes over somebody, everybody's a foe.
Yeah, and I imagine if there was probably anybody too close to me, they might get hit by like my tail as I'm spinning around trying to backhand one of these shadows, possibly just spinning around with my arms flailing, I might actually hit one of the berserkers that is nearby me.
Yeah, you would have hit one, but it's Iron Jaw, and his hand just kind of comes up and catches your fist. And he's kind of like looking down at them too. And you know that he sees them.
What are you doing? Let me go. We have to stop them before they rise.
And as you kind of start trying to pull your hand away, I'm imagining you're getting pretty frustrated with him, yeah? Like maybe you're going to attack him again?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a hand lashes out and backhands you across the face. So he slaps you for like 4 points of damage. Like he hits you hard. Like you feel your jaw rattle as he hits you. And his rings on his hand embed in your face a bit. And he says, "They're not moving. Open your bloody eyes."
At the hit, my head would jerk, and I'd come back to look at him in the eye, and there'd be that throaty growl again. And I would cut my eyes over to the shadows. Do they look the same? Or am I
They look
still
the same. They're just like undulating a bit. Like they're changing and shifting, but they're not moving. They're just lying in the same positions when you first saw them.
All right. And I'd look back at him. What would you have me do then?
Get back to the ship as your commander ordered.
That growl would come up again. I'd try and jerk my hand away. And almost like a very big child, kind of stomp away. But the whole time looking down at these masses.
And they continue to undulate and shift. Elongating and stretching, but they're not moving towards you or doing anything. Okay. Nothing happens, Grom. Nobody moves towards you. You do hear this conversation, though.
Okay, yeah. And yeah, I thought I saw them. That's where I was going for whistle. Absolutely not. And yeah, probably like I see the scuffle and go, we need to move. Stop looking at stuff like that. Oh, I don't know, yeah. We need to move. Elvis is only gaining time on us. If he's got alone, we're fucked. And it's gonna go like, Andrew, look at me, Bob. Follow my orders. We move. All of us.
You guys start moving again. As you reach the edge of town, Elvis, have you moved on or have you waited for them?
I probably would have heard the whistle and probably would have waited. But seeing them walk around the corner, I probably would have continued onward.
Okay. So as you continue down towards the shore, you reach the boat. Nothing stops you, nothing attacks you. Do you climb on?
Do I see anything out of the ordinary?
On the boat?
Yes.
No. On the boat, no.
Do I feel anything amiss?
The water was really choppy. That's pretty much it.
I'll wait for the rest.
Okay. How close to the boat are you standing, or where are you standing?
I'll say I'm standing about like 10, 15 feet off from the water.
Okay. So like on the beach, but like not in the water type thing, like with your boots in the water.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Okay, you stand there on the edge of the beach, and you wait for the rest of the group to catch up with you, and they do. They make it to you. Who's the first person on the boat? You guys are all scared now. I love it.
No, but
Okay.
I was thinking like going like I don't know, how do you call it? Like when you push someone up to get on the. I was thinking like Iron Jaw because he's like still a chief, so going like, go ahead, go inside.
Yeah, I probably would have like climbed up on the boat to help wrench him up. You know.
Okay. So well then, Nightshade, since you want to be the first person on the boat to help him up, as your foot reaches the water, and as you start to like reach up to grab onto the boat, does a 16 hit you? Okay. You feel something bite into your leg, and you look down, and a long black tentacle topped with like fangs has latched onto your leg. I need you to make me a strength or dexterity, so athletics or acrobatics check.
$15.
You are not grappled, but you feel it start to tug on your leg, trying to pull you into the water. As this happens, Elvis, you standing there watching, surveying the scene, you see this thing close around his leg. You see the water churning in the distance, and you see that it's not churning because of the tide. It's churning because hundreds of these things are out there. Now, you, Nightshade and Ironjaw, with your sight, can see perfectly now. Instead, you see hundreds of flaming, like they look almost like hell eels, writhing through the water. But each eel ends in like 7 or 8 tentacles. And the water is churning and turning because of them. But these creatures made of shadow, their eyes a deep green, the moon reflecting in them, look back at you. And I want you to make me a wisdom save.
It's going to be a 10.
You, for the next round, are paralyzed. Your body goes stiff, and you are unable to move. But Ironjaw is able to with a nat 20. Okay. Okay. Roll initiative, everybody.
Big old 7.
Okay. So that
9
is gonna
for
be.
Nightshade.
Oh, what'd you get for what night you get?
9.
Okay. Hey, Elvis, you're first. Muted.
How many of these things are surrounding Ironjaw and Nightshade?
Only one of them is capable of getting to them right now because they're in the very shallow region.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna pull out my bow and fire at it.
Go ahead.
It's 17.
That'll hit.
And I probably don't get sneak attack damage.
No. No, wait, actually, yeah. I think you get sneak attack if it's right next to one of your allies, right?
Oh, yeah. All right. Let's see,
yeah, so you get sneak attack still.
Sweet. That's a 10. And then 5. 17 damage.
Hey, 17?
Yes.
Okay. This tentacle, as your arrow sinks into it, it reels back and lets go of his leg, kind of sinking back into the water.
Sweet.
Okay. It is the strange eldritch eel's turn. Anybody who would like to can roll me also to like know what this is: medicine, history, or religion. No, not medicine. Sorry, not medicine. Religion. Religion or history. Or survival. I'll allow survival too. Okay.
Nightshade got a 19 for survival.
Hey, nat 20 for history. Cool. Let me hurry and mess up Nightshade because it's attacking him right now. And then we can hurry and figure out what this thing is. Nightshade, you take one of these tentacle attacks. And then, let me see. Tentacle. And you are grappled now since you're paralyzed and can't resist. So that is 16 points from one tentacle. And you're grappled. Give me a con save.
Say that for me one more time.
Make me a con save.
Maybe 15.
That is barely enough to succeed. So you take an additional 14 as out of the water, like a jet of, it almost looks like ink, except for it burns like poison. Like a jet of poison shoots out of the water and hits you square in the face.
And with that, Nightshade falls. He is down.
Okay. What does it look like as you collapse from this massive hit?
I think that he's grappled and he's trying to will himself to move, but he just can't bring his body to even fight back. And this acid just comes up and it just hits him square in the face, into his eyes. I imagine his mouth was slightly open when he got paralyzed, and it got into his mouth, and the pain just came over him, and it started to eat away at him, and you just see him go completely limp. You're muted.
Oh, kudos. Okay, it's karma. Your body is still standing, like rigid. When you watch his eyes roll back in his head, and as his turn ends and the paralyzing ends, his body just collapses like a rag doll. Okay. The other tentacle attack is towards Ironjaw, and it'll hit for 13. But he resists being grappled. All right. Ironjaw and the Berserkers. They all rush forward, seeing you go down, Nightshade. 3 of them are going to start hacking at this tentacle. Two of them manage to hit. For 24 points of damage, and they chop the tentacle free. The other one runs up beside Ironjaw, attacking it, and misses. And then Ironjaw is going to make 2 attacks at disadvantage because of his serious wounds and from taking 2 stims. Okay. He will hit with 1 of his attacks for an additional 7. All right, Nightshade, roll me a death save.
That would be a 2.
That is 1 fail on your death saves. 2 more and you are gone. All right, Grom.
Okay, so you see Nightshade's fall, and he go into the water, grab him like by his shirt, and just like lift him up, and just go back on the beach, put him down. He's gonna take his shield and use his bonus action to just charge the enemy, because orcs can just charge the enemy as a bonus action. It's not gonna attack, it's just gonna get like into melee, like, whoa! And coming back.
Okay, yeah, you carry him up the beach, set him down, and then rush back into the fight.
Yep.
Avenge me! All right, Elvis.
Any word on that history check?
Oh, the history check. Okay. You know that additionally, from this iron journal, again, that you've heard of before, it's like a sacred relic to the Iron Crows. You know that back in this day, back when the Dreadhounds lived, back when they existed, there were also these things called defilers. And they were basically the Dreadhounds of the Sea, also a very terrible omen. But you remember an additional piece of knowledge within Act 20 history. These creatures were said to have come from someplace called the Blacklands. And the Blacklands are essentially, the Iron Crows fear magic. They think magic is evil, it's terrible, that it's destructive. But it makes even the weakest of men into warriors, which they feel is wrong. So all of this, knowing this, that these creatures, they come from, you remember a little other piece of knowledge, that there used to be what people called there are two types of magic, Aeth and Desolation. And these creatures are creatures of desolation, which has not been seen for thousands of years. So, but you know that this creature before you is called a defiler. And they have a very strong aversion to poison. They do not like it at all.
Wish I'd chosen some poison for my equipment.
Wish there was some dragon that could breathe poison.
Oh my. Oh dear. So knowing this information and seeing Kale lying there right there on the beach by me, I'm going to take my ointment out, sigh because this is the second dose I've had to use on him, and walk over him and like just shove like a dollop of it on his tongue. And let's see, you get back 15 hit points. I got one dose left.
So how does that work? Does that bring me back to consciousness, or
you're brought back to consciousness with those hit points.
Okay, cool.
So it's basically 0 plus whatever you gain back, and now you're back on your feet.
Awesome.
And as soon as he wakes up, I'm going to say, spit on them, please. Get us out of this.
All right. The Defiler is going to make... Ooh, Grom. What is your AC again?
20.
Yeah, you're going to fail. Okay, that is a 23.
Yeah, 23 is hard to get in a fiery at level 5.
I need a con save from you.
And it's pretty good. It's 22.
Hey, you succeed then. Okay, so instead you're going to just take 17 points of damage as this necrotic poison just slams into your chest. It hits your shield, but you feel your shield start to slough and fall apart, which is strange because your shield's magical. So as the necrotic goo just slams into it and pours over the edge, it's almost as if you feel your body start to die. 2 more attacks from this with tentacles. 1 miss, 1 miss. Okay. Iron Jaw on the Zerkers. Iron Jaw is going to attack twice at disadvantage. That one will hit, actually. It hits once for 7. And then the Berserkers, only 1 will hit. For 12, though. Okay. Next up is Nightshade. You are back on your feet.
So I come to with Elvis standing over me. You know, he tells me to spit on him, please. And knowing exactly what happened, you immediately see that his face is like, if a Dragonborn could blush, he would be turning purple. Because this is super embarrassing to him that he has been dropped in battle and not killed. So I slowly start to stand up, and I kind of moving my tongue around in my mouth and kind of moving something. You can kind of hear something clinking on my teeth. I'll do you one better. And I start walking towards the water. Everybody, get back. And I bite down on something, and I take this deep breath in, and this green vapor just begins to come out, and it's much, much more than any of my breath attacks that y'all have seen before. It is just gathering and gathering and gathering as I have just burst a elemental gem that was essentially a tongue ring inside my mouth. And I have just summoned a poisonous, or called forth a poisonous air elemental.
And it's a bonus action to use that, right? Or is it an action?
I'm actually not sure. I've never used one before. So I think because it's interacting with or using an object or an item, that it's an action. I don't have a lot of experience with items and stuff. So
you have to use an action. Okay. Okay. All right. You break the gem, and rising up out of out of his mouth comes this. It looks like a fog, like a green fog, but then as it turns and looks at you, it has eyes of black.
As a bonus action, I like to pull out that dagger that's covered in the stem.
Yeah.
And where everybody else just kind of cuts their arm, I kind of picture him just like shoving it into his shoulder and just leaving it there. Like, let that soak up.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you shove the stem into your shoulder, and your eye. So, what does it look like from your perspective as the stem takes hold?
There's this momentary silence, but then everything becomes super clear. I can feel my heart racing. It begins to just get my heart just pounds harder and harder and harder and harder, and I can feel like my muscles are swelling and tightening, and I've just become super aware of everything around me. And that just gets me more excited because it's been a while since I've been able to fight with stem, or at least it's been a while since I've felt like I had to fight on stem.
Awesome. So, yeah, you go into the effects of the stem, and next up is Grom.
So Grom isn't looking so good. So he asked us to retreat because he's gonna brief something, right?
Yeah. He tried to walk ahead up to the water's edge before he released this, just because he doesn't want anybody to get hit by this poison cloud.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Grom is gonna disengage and just try to stay on your side, I don't know, protective shield. Pretty much what I want to do is, if something tried to grab him, I'm gonna put myself in the way. if I can.
So you basically want to interpose yourself if anything is to happen to him.
Yeah, it's trying to get him, like, just go with the shield, like, bash it, or just, like, put myself in the way.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect. So I'm gonna have Nightshade on your next on. I'll just have it go right after Elvis, your poison elemental, and we'll just have Elvis go now real quickly.
You are muted.
I'll learn one of these days. So, having done my duty, I'm going to attack the one attacking Grom with my short bow. I don't think I'll hit with a 9.
I don't think you'll hit with a 9 either, but it's a good attempt.
It's a good attempt.
Okay. What does it look like as your 9 misses though?
I'm going to say that, like, it shoots past the tentacled creature and, like, just dunk off the side of the ship and falls flaccidly into the water. And I'm just standing there on the beach with my empty bow, just hating myself.
All right. Yeah, your arrow just just zips past it, barely missing, barely skidding into the water, and everybody, specifically actually, I want everyone to make me perception checks except for Nightshade, who is under the effect of this toxin stuff.
For once, it's not so shit. It's 19. It's pretty
Okay.
good.
Okay, perfect. All of you hear this. Seemingly kind of like whispered in the wind. You hear, just whispered in the wind. And under the effects of this toxin, being able to see and hear things that other people can't, you hear but you also hear what it really means. A language that speaks to your mind more than it speaks in words. You hear, I will consume you. Your elemental's turn. It will make 2 slam attacks. Actually, you control it. You can either have it make 2 slam attacks or use whirlwind ability, which requires a strength save.
I completely forgot that I had, the PDF for the monster manual, and I could have totally looked that up while it wasn't my turn. My bad.
I've got it right here in front of me. You can either do 2 slam attacks or the whirlwind ability.
Let's go with the whirlwind ability.
Okay. That requires a strength save from the creature, which it actually somehow fails. So go ahead and do it 3d8 plus 2 damage.
Okay.
And add 1d6 as well.
So that's going to be 11 for that 3d8.
Okay.
And then 1d6. That's going to be 5.
Okay, so that's 16 plus 2, 18.
Yep.
Okay. What does it look like as this thing is picked up and thrown 20 feet away and slammed against the boat?
This cloud of poison just kind of starts to move across the water, and it starts to circle right above it, and it just kind of collects into this small, almost like hurricane like form, and it slowly picks this thing up out of the water and just starts to spin it, and then releases it as it flies through the air and hits the side of the ship.
And that actually kills it because it doubles because it's poison.
Awesome.
So, how does it kill it? What does it look like as it dies?
I imagine that it picks it up and it throws it against the side of the ship, and it hits the side of the ship, and it doesn't fall back into the water. It's kind of sprawled out over the side, and the mist immediately goes over to it and just kind of envelops it and kind of starts sinking into every orifice of it. And it's writhing in pain and letting out this high-pitched screech, and it just suddenly and just dies, just falls down as the last little bit of the poison kind of seeps into it.
You are muted.
My goodness, I thought I pressed the unmute button and it didn't unmute. As the poison seeps into it and it screeches and screams and writhes and then falls back into the water, you hear and you know what that means also, due to your hyper kind of attunement to the dark lands, the black lands. You will never escape. Combat is over for now.
Nightshade would actually not. He doesn't even understand that there's no other threat anymore. He just dives into the water and just goes over to it and just starts wailing on this thing in the water.
You're still muted.
I know, I was chewing on a chip.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were talking
Well, I didn't expect him to dive in the water. I expect you guys to have a conversation amongst yourselves. As he dives in, the rest of you staying on the beach see the waves explode with fury as every single one of these things starts powering towards you.
No, stop. Come back.
Oh, shit. Did he gain too much? I mean, can I get to him, grapple that shit, and just run the other way?
Yeah, he's like 5 feet out in the water, so you could grab him pretty easy, but
yeah, I will try to grab it. Just
Are you having it? Is he having it? Nightshade?
I think that he would. There'd be that moment, where it probably takes him a second to actually grab him, but when Nightshade sees that it's Grom, he kind of just lets it happen, thinking, if I'm gonna fight Grom, I need to be at full health. I need to be top of my game, and right now I'm not. So he just kind of lets it happen.
Yeah,
okay.
It's something like you see when you grab your kitten by the throat, and just run back,
Okay, I'm gonna have you make me a either strength or dexterity check to see how quickly you're able to get out of the water.
Oh, strength! Oh yes. So athletics or just
athletics? You can use
strength?
athletics. That's fine.
Can I use inspiration?
Yeah, you can. Go ahead.
Okay, that was a 2. That's a nat 20 plus 8.
Okay, yeah. You just lift him up. You suplex him out of the water, but you don't drop him. It's and you just run out.
Yeah, it's not gracious at all. It's just really, really fast.
Yeah, I imagine it looks something like in Pirates of the Caribbean where he's running with the water at it up to his knees, and he's like,
yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, you barely get him out of the water, and you just dump him on the sand, and kind of the rest of the group just looks down at him And you might not be as mad at him as Ironjaw is. But I'm going to have you make a contested strength check, Nightshade, unless you're not resisting.
No, I think there probably wouldn't be a whole lot of resistance. Just because, like, subconsciously he kind of knows, if he's coming to pull me out, there's some reason for it. And he does try to the best of his abilities to take orders and do what he's told. It just doesn't always work that way.
Yeah, so Ironjaw, you would feel his big meaty hand close around your throat, and with a 24 on his strength, he lifts you into the air with his arm, with one arm, and he looks you in the eyes, and he says, "Next time you pull some shit like that, you're dead." And he throws you on the ground. Come on.
Under my breath, I'd probably, not if you die first.
Okay, he wouldn't hear you. He has terrible passive perception.
Good, because a combat with him would probably kill me.
Yeah.
Oh, it would definitely kill you. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, Ironjaw kind of just looks at the rest of the group. Well, now what?
Actually, I don't know. What was your plan again, Elvis? Like, run up the coast?
Well, without our ship, it seems we're walking. We're strangers in a strange land now. We need to keep our wits about us.
I think I glare at Nightshade. Okay. We're all battered. We need someplace safe, like someplace to regroup, and you see, like, Grom is like torn at the edges. You never see him like so exhausted and wounded, because most of the time he never takes a hit. And he goes, "We need to roll up somewhere. I don't know, church or anything, maybe high ground."
I think these southern cultures, they have some belief about hollowed ground. Perhaps the church is not such a bad idea.
Don't know if their church is strong enough.
Oh, sorry.
What? No, go ahead. Sorry, I cut you.
Nightshade would look at you with a really puzzled look on his face. Well, is that really the smartest idea? If it's hollowed ground, wouldn't too much weight make it collapse? I'm not the lightest one here.
Spelled differently.
There's a different way to spell it?
It's not the
Yes,
same thing.
You're the smart one, Elvis.
Just follow my lead, I suppose.
Yeah. And if there's something we all ask,
So you make your way back to the church?
yep, I think that's all plan, I guess, if you can call it that way.
Okay. As you guys go back up the hill, kind of back into the village, Nightshade, you notice the undulating masses are gone. Ironjaw notices this too, and you hear the metal scrape as he grinds his teeth together. And he walks into the church and kind of just sneers at everything around him. Because they aren't warriors, they turn to gods to protect them. How pathetic. And then he walks around the edge of the church, kind of like looking at the unnecessarily like stained glass windows, like they could have been plain, or the, etc. Like he's looking at everything and just sneering at it. He walks up to the altar kind of and picks up like a golden candelabra. And he kind of just like tosses the candles off of it and just shrugs his shoulders and tosses it into his knapsack.
Elvis is surprisingly, for all of his logic and learning, he's surprisingly superstitious of this, and warns Ironjaw that, do not forget, we too have gods. What do you think they would do if some southern raider were to walk in one of our temples and ransack it?
Roll me persuasion or something else to try and get him to put this back.
14.
Yeah, beats him. He kind of frowns and then reaches back and pulls out the candelabra and puts it back on the altar and just shrugs like, you happy now? And keeps walking around the edge of the church.
Yeah. Grom is thinking like, well, we got all gods, so he's trying to find like a chalice or a chalice of some kind. And if he finds something like a cup, he's gonna go, well, if we can't pray to their god, we'll pray to ours. And he's gonna cut like his hand. Blood for the blood gods, bloodless gods. And just like pass the cup around. Blood spilled, blood protect.
All the other believers would participate. And so you guys are going to try and get a night's rest? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, or at least a little bit of rest. I don't know if we can make it the night without dying, but at least short.
So you guys can do a short rest. That's fine. Okay, so go ahead and take a short rest, everybody. But fun stuff.
I actually haven't taken a hit yet, so I'm actually probably going to keep first watch while everyone else rests up. And while I'm taking this watch, can I search around the church, see if there's any sort of like hymnals or prayer scriptures around?
Yeah, you can roll me investigation to search about. Yeah, okay. So you don't really find any scriptures or hymnals, but you do find like an engraving up on the wall that would be pretty hard to miss.
Could I make first of all, what does the engraving look like?
So it looks like a large slab of marble was kind of made into a slat, like a very thin piece, and kind of engraven in black and gold. And it's just kind of like put up against the wall, like a large point reaching the ceiling.
Is there any sort of like engravings or carvings into it?
Yeah, there are both pictures and words engraved into it.
Okay. Well, I was going to say I should take a rubbing of it, but I don't really have any paper or anything like that on me. I'll just commit it to memory.
Okay. Yeah, so the big piece of marble itself, the engravings that kind of cover it, you see there are like owls, kind of one in each corner, and then a circle of 12 swords all pointing towards the center. And the engraving, the writing beneath it, it says, by the light of the archons, by the fate of the eighth, may the defilers and those that have come first die. By the faith of the chosen, by the holy anointed, may we ever be protected by the warden's hand.
And am I familiar with any of like the warden? Am I familiar with that?
So because you've just been doing so well on history checks, I'll tell you this. You know that back before what people call the descent, the world was governed by people called wardens, and they were essentially kings and queens chosen out of the common folk by these demigods called archons, who chose them because they had the necessary qualities to be leaders and placed them on thrones. There were no royal bloodlines. It was just the most worthy person chosen. So basically, this is saying, like, almost like, archons protect us, give us the faith to await another warden to come, because the wardens and archons no one knows really what happened to them, but they all just kind of disappeared. I mean, this is like 300, 400 years ago. Nobody really knows where they went, what happened to them, but they know that they are gone now. And instead, the sovereign lords rule.
Okay. I'll commit this to memory, and I'm going to go take my first watch.
Okay. Oh, and you know that the archons in them were followers of Aethos rather than the desolation.
Gotcha.
So they used what people deemed the good magic versus the bad one. Okay, so you take first watch. As you're watching for the few hours that people are able to try and get some rest, you have a dream, Nightshade. You're standing on a barren field. It's cracked and blackened. Lines of red streak along it, and you know this is blood. As you stand there, you feel very, very cold. And before you, as you look up from the ground, you see a massive figure. It's composed of swirling shadows and umbral faces that appear and disappear around its body. And as you look upon it, you see that occasionally a bit of its body changes into a more animalistic form. Its head, which first appeared human, becomes a wolf. And then it goes back. Its leg, that once maybe might have been the paw of a lion, instead becomes a tentacle, ending with the fangs, as you saw before. But then it goes back. And his body is just constantly shifting and changing before your eyes. And it looks down at you. And you hear, and you know in your mind that this means, if you will not come to me, I will come to you. And then its head turns into that of an eagle and comes down and snaps you, biting you in half, and you awaken in a cold sweat, screaming.
Yeah, and I got popped straight up, like you said, screaming. I'm thrashing around. And it actually takes a second for my eyes to open and for me to catch my breath to realize that it was just a dream. But I can feel my heart pumping like I just took a dose of stim. And I immediately look around for where Grom is.
But as you look around, your eyes lock with Ironjaw, who is sitting up in the same cold sweat, his eyes wide. And he just looks at you, and you look back at him. And he quickly stands to his feet and runs and kicks Grom in the side. Get up!
Just get up. And you see, he's putting back his armor on, and there's, tons of bandages he put himself on, and rope, tied around it. And it's tight fit with his armor. And he goes, what time is it?
Nightshade would happen as soon as he saw Ironjaw go over to Grom, I would have stood up and made my way over there to him, just in time to hear that question. I think we have more pressing matters, Grom, than what time it is. I think something's coming.
Like what?
There's this pause. Eagle? Like he just can't figure out how to explain it. It's monstrous beast. It's like those things that were in the water. There's and those shadowy masses that were attacking the men. I think it's their master.
And Cromie's gonna go like, holy hell. Well, like I said back on the square, it's time to fight. Maybe the last stand.
And Nightshade would start yelling at the surviving men to get up, you idiots, get up, get ready for battle, on your feet. Probably kicking and nudging several of them.
Elvis, where were you keeping watch?
I'd like to say at the top of the steeple, but that seems to be. I probably would want to stay nearby everyone else just in case, like something were to come through the front. So I'm probably I imagine some of the stained glass windows are damaged to the point where there's like several holes that I can look out of. Yeah, so I've been keeping watch from there.
So you've been watching the front then?
Yes.
Did you turn back to see what the commotion was, even for a second?
I would say Elvis merely gripped the hilt of his short sword as soon as he heard the screaming of Nightshade. But after hearing the voice of Ironjaw and Grom, he loosened his grip and kept watch.
Okay. So as you're sitting there, you just, for the briefest of moments, you're just kind of gripping, kind of clenching your teeth, and then you hear the conversation, and you kind of let out a sigh of relief, and you blink. And suddenly there, just outside the door, is a man.
A man?
A man.
It's like how, like right at the door, or
Like maybe like a few feet away from the door.
what does he look like?
He's very comely. He is wearing a crown of brass. His clothing is ornamented kind of like a black doublet with like gold etchings along the side, coming down to like just normal leather breeches. On his surcoat, he wears what appears to be a symbol, and on the symbol is it's a black plant with golden veins in the leaf. And you know that this man is the lord of this town. This is Lord Cadron.
Knowing that we're not exactly dealing with normal circumstances here, I'm just going to wait a moment and watch his movements and his demeanor.
Yeah, as you watch and observe him, he just kind of seems to be looking at the door. And then his head snaps to the side and locks eyes with you immediately. And you see a small smile creep across his face.
Roll stealth?
His mouth opens, and no words come out. Instead, you hear in your mind, taking refuge in the Church of the Anointed. Amusing. And he walks forward, and he places a hand on the door, and the door melts and turns to ash and falls away.
Still gripping the hilt of my sword, I'm going to stand my ground and like wait this out and see what's going to happen. But I will give 2 short whistles.
Okay. So I imagine you were probably on like the second floor, kind of like the little balconies that surround the church. Looking out one of those windows?
Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
So you give the 2 short bursts on the whistle. Everybody else hears it. They all sit up and kind of like look towards the door. And you see him standing there. His jet black hair slicked backwards across his head. His eyes a piercing green. And at his waist he wears a long sword.
I simply look down at him from the balcony because I imagine he's like strolled in at this point, and just say above him, "What deviltry is this?"
The devil. A wives' tale. Mortal. I created the devil. And then he turns and looks back at the rest of the group. You did well, though, surviving. You dealt with what I sent at you very well, actually. My Laird stood no chance. I believe you call them dreadhounds. And, well, there was no escaping. As I said, I will consume you. But I offer you a choice first. You see, and he strolls further into the church. My brother has quite the number of followers. I need to gather some of my own. Now, you seem like men who enjoy what you do. Killing, raiding, pillaging. So I offer you a choice. You can raid and kill and pillage and do all the things you've done before, but you do it for me. Oh, and those bloodless gods, younger cousins, really. You stop worshiping them. I'm your god now.
Okay. Oh, I like it. Grom, you see, like he like cut his hand for the bloodless gods, and is gonna grip the blade of a stem blade and reopen the wound, then grab the root and munch on it, grab his shield and go, "Here I stand for my god and for all the others." Wah! And he's just gonna charge. He's probably gonna get dismembered and die soon, but hey.
All right, here we go. Starting off with the double stim, okay?
Yep.
Roll initiative then. And anyone who wants to fight, roll initiative. If you don't want to fight, you don't have to.
As soon as Grom charges in, I'm right behind him. Yeah.
That's a 2, so I probably will die before I act.
Mine's a 22.
Oh. Maybe you can beat me to it and die first. We'll see.
So is Elvis staying silent, not doing anything?
I just don't know. I don't know. I'm loyal to Grom and Ironjaw, but
Okay.
I'm
cool.
fighting.
You're fighting? Okay, go ahead and roll.
Yes. 7.
7? Okay, cool. So that means we start with Nightshade.
Awesome. Yeah. So.
Let me hurry and just finish putting in the initiative.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Followed by Ironjaw. Followed by. Okay, followed by Elvis. Followed by Zerkers. Followed by. Finally, last but not least, Grom. Hey, Nightshade. Muted, good sir. Still muted, good sir.
Get on mute.
Hey, I had to do it sooner or later. So yeah, I would charge at him, and as long as my movement would allow it, I assume so because I have 40 feet. And as soon as I get up on him, I'm going to take my 2 attacks on him, just unarmed strikes. Oh, good shit. Okay, so one of those is a nat 20. The other one is 11.
11 misses, nat 20 definitely hits. So go ahead and give me that damage.
Alrighty. So that's 12 damage.
Okay.
Because I hit him, I can spend a key point to
Stunning strike.
stunning strike.
That's a con save for him, right?
Yes.
Okay, so he got a 16 plus, so he got 20 total.
Oh, yeah, that passes. That passes. You're looking for 13.
Yeah, your fist just connects with the side of his head, maybe, as your stunning strike. And he doesn't even flinch. Like, he just takes the fist. His head slowly turns and looks back at you. And a little smile crosses his lips. And you realize now that you're closer to him that his teeth aren't normal human teeth. They're like needles.
That's lovely. And then for my bonus action, I'm going to spend another key point for the Fury of Blows. So it's 2 more attacks. Yeah, neither one of those will hit.
Okay.
And that'll be my turn.
And he kind of just like reaches up, and there's a little bit of blood trickling down the side of his face, and he wipes it off. And he licks it off of his hand, smacks his lips a bit, and looks at you. And he just smiles. And you hear him say, or my turn. And he actually disappears. His body just turns into shadow, and now Grom, he is standing behind you. He is going to make 2 attacks. And one of those will hit for 13. His longsword sprouts from your back, like behind your shoulder, coming up and out, and he rips it free. He then turns towards Ironjaw, who's charging behind you. He'll make an attack against him and hit for oh geez. for 36. As essentially his arm changes and it becomes a snake. And it shoots out and wraps around his throat, locking on with its teeth. And he's grappled now. And then with his last attack, he's going to turn to one of the berserkers charging with you. And nat 20.
That's not on me.
No, you're lucky it wasn't on you. Because that's 82 points of damage. As he basically, you see his sword move lightning quick. And his arm is gone, his other arm is gone, his leg is gone, he's toppling to the side, and his head's off. And then his other arm that's holding the longsword turns into the head of a lion and bites down on him, ripping the top of it off, of his body off, and then turns back into an arm. Ironjaw is going to try and break free of the grapple. And contested strength. Ironjaw wins. He reaches up and like pulls the snake off, and then the snake turns back into an arm and goes away from him. But he is going to use his bonus action to take a third stim. He pulls out one of these daggers and looks at it. And he drags it across his arm and then shoves it into his wrist. And then pulls it out and throws it. And his eyes just, his pupils become like, and his eyes are like completely black. As his pupils basically completely dilate. And that'll be it for Ironjaw. Elvis.
So I pull out the stim that's on me and I look at it. I've never taken stim in my entire life. I swore not to. But seeing as this will possibly be my final day, I stab myself in the thigh with it. I then pull out my short sword and I look at it, and actually engraved on the blade in runes is the name Gunder Gunderson, the name of the captain of my mercenary group that died so many decades ago. And I launch myself from the balcony, driving my short sword straight down into the Lord Cadron below me.
So that's epic. Take a point of inspiration. And if your attack hits, because you have advantage also, because I mean that's what the stim does.
Yes.
Add an additional damage dice. We'll do 2d6 instead of 1d6 because you're falling on him.
Ooh, 25.
Definitely hits. Roll again to see if you nat 20 because you have advantage.
Oh, yeah.
Please not 20. Please not 20.
No, not 20, unfortunately. That would have been amazing. All right. Or, let's see, 6 total.
Okay. So you jump off this balcony, falling down. And it's a 10-foot fall, so take 1 point of falling damage.
Oh, yeah.
And you land on him from behind, driving your sword down into his back. And it should...
Oh, he froze.
Nope. He froze. Oh, no.
No! We want the end.
So you kill this motherfucker, and we all win.
You become a god. We're gonna agree to that. Like if you just go on it, ascension, and just fly off into the distance.
Yeah.
You're muted still.
I point the sword straight upwards and just like fly up out of the roof of the church.
Like destroying the top of the church. Like,
But I'm screaming while it happens because I don't know what's happening.
and then you've been blessed by the water god. Poof. And we Okay, let's see.
God, all that for just 6 damage. Jesus.
Yeah, but can you do 6 damage? Like even with double and all that? If it's
Well,
short
it
sword,
was,
stacks.
2 of those die, I only rolled 2s.
Oh.
Dang.
Wait, 2. Oh, wait, that should have been 8. That's my fault.
Yeah.
Because it makes so much difference.
Yeah, it's still a bit of a shame.
Yeah. I still got that inspiration, though.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. I got none. Everyone got one, but me. No, we'll see.
You gotta do something epic, man. You gotta do it. Next round. Okay.
Yep. Well, I'm clearly probably gonna die next round because I'm gonna taunt him so bad. Because fuck it. I hope he come back. I want to see the end. Well, the all ending is good too, but
He just kept going while he's off the air. He just kept going, and
yeah.
he joins back up, and we're all dead.
Yep.
That was super weird. My computer literally just died on me.
Oh, like blue screen?
Oh, Jesus.
It's a sign.
Not like blue screen. Like it restarted just so it could do an update, just for no reason at all.
Oh, Windows. You
I
motherfucker.
love Windows. Epic
So
moment.
I
Downloaded from above.
so I did something epic and did poopy damage. It
But it was cool.
was cool.
And I gave
That's what matters.
instruction for it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. You come down and your blade, it goes right where his spine should have been. Like right where his spine should have been. And as it sinks down into his back, you feel it hit his spine. But he kind of stiffens. And he kind of just looks at you over his shoulder and just chuckles and just shakes his head. Okay. Can somebody repost the initiative order? Because mine disappeared because of Google Hangouts. Okay. Next up are the Berserkers. They all charge him. That one misses. That one hits. That one misses. He lands. One of them lands a hit of 6 points of damage. And his axe like buries into his arm. He chops it off, and it falls to the ground and just like lies there. But then a new arm sprouts just straight out of his body. He kind of just looks down at it and looks back over the Berserker. I'll remember that. Okay. Grom, your turn.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay into him as much as I can, like aiming for the edge, for the crown. Like, this shit is mine. So, first one is, that's +2, so 22. Second one is, no crit still, 24. So I'm gonna roll for damage, then action surge and continue because why the fuck not? That's 10 damage plus 14 damage. Let me write it down. I'm never gonna remember that. Then action
Don't worry
surge.
about it. I'm just I'm subtracting it off of his health as you add it. So go ahead and just say whatever you get.
And like as a taunt, like with my hand over shield, I just reach for the crown, like as a feint, and just like continue to lay into him. That's a 21 to hit. Yeah, that's double steam that's 15 damage. And this one is a hit still. It's a 27 to hit. And that's 11 damage. It's just continue to land into him. So
yeah, you chop off its arm, you chop off its other arm, and they both grow back. You chop his head off, his head grows back. And he just kind of like, he's like, that's getting really annoying as you're kind of removing bits and pieces of his body. Okay. That means next up then, it is Nightshade.
So I'm gonna come up, try and get like behind him, and come up. And I want to grapple with him, but I want to try and do it like a chokehold. Get around his neck.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead. So we're contested strength.
I've rolled a 3, so I'm gonna use the point of inspiration if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. You're looking to beat a 23, by the way.
I rolled a 3 the first time. I rolled a 2 the second time.
Oh.
Hey, that's how we do it.
All right. So that obviously fails. But I'm gonna use a key point from a bonus action to do a Fury of Blows.
That's cool.
One is a 16 and one is an 11.
16 hits barely, 11 does not.
Okay. So for the one, it's going to be 8 points of damage.
Okay.
And then because I hit him with a Fury of Blows, I'm going to make him make a dex save or be knocked prone.
Okay.
You're looking
He
to beat
fails.
13.
He fails.
Ah, yeah. So he is now prone.
Okay. He falls prone, but it's his turn next, so I mean he falls over under your onslaught of punches. You trip him up and he kind of falls to the ground. He kind of lifts himself up on one knee and just looks back at you and says, very well. And his body kind of just like sloughs off. And what's left is like a shadow beneath it. And the shadow grows and grows until it is of a huge size. And this is the thing from your dream. And this creature looks down at you and says, when Lord Cadron saw your ships, he came to me for help. Little did he know that these powers consume. Lord Cadron's no more, as you will be. Now he's taken the form of this giant, massive shadow from your dream that's constantly changing shape. He is going to now go back to work and attacks. He turns to the one berserker who chopped his arm off. Ouch, that is definitely going to hurt a lot. 41 points and kills him. He turns and looks down at Grom. Grom, my friend. Here come 2 attacks at you. That is a 27, that's going to hit.
Yep.
And that is a 28, that's going to hit.
Yep.
So take 34 points of damage.
And down.
As a lion head bites onto the side of your body, and then an eagle claw rakes across your side, ripping a giant gash in your side. The lion head picks him up and flings him across the room, slamming him against the wall. His last attack. He turns towards Ironjaw. And an 18 will hit. Dealing, he has to make another check to grapple. Fails the grapple check again. Dealing 46 points of damage to him. Ironjaw goes down. Alrighty. That is it for his turn. Ironjaw's down. Death save. Nat 1, he dies. Yeah, I nat 1 on his death save. So this hit, what it was is it was like his arm turns into a praying mantis arm and just scythes him in half. And one half of his body kind of just slides to the side and the legs kind of just tip over. And his eyes are just as his teeth clack together one more time. All right, next up is Elvis.
So this creature before us, is there any sort of like? So it's a swirling mass of shadow, but is there anything else on this being that I can see? Like, is the crown from Lord Cadron still showing up on its head or something like that?
From time to time, as the body shifts and changes, roll me perception check.
10.
Occasionally, you'll glimpse something that looks more like tangible and corporeal, but you can't pinpoint its location, if that makes sense. But there's something there that's more accessible to hurt. Yeah.
I know I can't pinpoint its location, but I would like to attempt to try and grab it, if that's possible.
Like grapple him or grab whatever you're gonna reach
grab
into.
Whatever is, reach into him and grab whatever it is I'm seeing.
First, roll me a luck die.
That was a D8, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you can use inspiration on luck dice too.
Okay, I'm going to use a point of inspiration. 6.
Okay. For the briefest of moments, your hand closes around something. It's a beating heart. Now I need you to make me a strength save.
It's cocked. I'm going to re-roll that.
Okay.
13.
You are sucked into this thing. You are now inside the undulating mass.
Yeah, as I'm being sucked in, I'm just listing off all of the names of my mercenary group that I can think of in this moment.
You are not dead. What is your constitution score, though?
My constitution score is a 9.
Okay. You are suffocating. You have 3 rounds to get out of this thing before you suffocate. Or you can do whatever you want to with those 3 rounds inside of this thing.
Oh, I will.
Okay. Zerkers. Well, one Zerker now. Your one Zerker buddy is going to stim up. And he is going to go berserk. Oh. Oh, nat 20. His eyes fill with fury. And that is going to actually hit really, really hard. That is 12 plus 3, 15, double, 30 points of damage. As his axe cleaves deep into the torso of this thing. Okay, Grom, death save. Don't nat 1, buddy.
17.
That is 1 success. Nightshade.
Okay, so seeing all this happen and this thing turn into this big giant mass of shadow, and knowing that it's from his dream, reaches onto his back, which he's been carrying this portable ram with him, and he brings it off and just lets it fall to the ground. And something that's pretty unique about this is that he actually has a chain tied around it. I've just been looking for an excuse, and I want to basically swing this and just throw it at him. I just want to swing it and throw it as hard as I can at him.
Okay, so I'm only let you make 1 attack because you're using this. But go ahead and make me an attack using strength.
Mm-hmm.
And if it hits, we'll go from there.
Alrighty. So let's see the strength. So that's going to be a 19 to hit.
And that will hit. So,
Good.
portable ram, does that have like a damage thing for it?
No, you just have advantage for busting down doors, but it weighs
Okay.
35 pounds.
So here's what we're gonna do. Roll me a luck die. See
Okay.
how solid you hit him.
8.
8. Okay. So now roll me a d4 real quickly.
4.
Okay, do 4d8 damage.
Even if it's useless, it's awesome.
That's 15 points of damage.
Okay. And you added your strength, right?
Oh, no. So that's 16, 17 points of damage.
Okay. This thing, this massive ram slams into the side of its body. Now, Elvis, I'm going to give you a choice. You can either stay inside this thing, or you can be spat back out because you got hit really hard by this ram.
I want to stay inside.
Okay, so you grasp desperately at whatever you can inside of this thing to stay inside. Cool. All right.
Would I still be able to take a bonus action?
Sure. You can. So okay, this is what I'll say. You need to use a bonus action to prep the ram again for next turn, or you can use a bonus action to do whatever else you want to do. Because I'm going to say it takes a turn of prep to like pull the chain back in and get ready to swing.
Yeah, no, I'll pull it back in and get it ready to swing again.
Swing again. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. That was Nightshade. Now it goes to Desolation. Desolation looks down at you, Nightshade. It kind of like looks over to its side and kind of like holds the side of its body and looks back up at you and says, I can hit too. And he is going to use his powerful attack against you. Oh, that's a nat 20. Okay.
I knew I should have used my patient defense. I knew it.
Well, that's 82 points of damage.
Oh, I'm dead.
What's your max hit points?
38.
Yeah, that outright kills you.
Yeah, I'm dead.
So he looks down at you, and his head turns into a cobra. And the side, its wings flare, and its head snaps forward. And where you were standing, there's nothing now. It is now going to turn to the last berserker, who stands alone. Oh my gosh, he missed with a nat 1. Okay. What does that do? I'll just have him damage himself.
I gave him indigestion.
Yeah, you gave him indigestion. You gave him really bad indigestion. Okay, so he damages himself. And then he will try again at the berserker and miss again. Holy crap. Okay, so that's... Yeah, that misses. You got a 13. Okay. I guess his last attack against the berserker. And that time he'll hit with a 16. Dealing 23. Man, they all failed their strength saves against him. Yeah, killing him outright with like 56 points of damage. All right, Elvis. It is down to you, sir.
So I'm inside this thing. Am I
Yeah.
still grasping at this beating heart?
Yes, you are. Roll me one more investigation check or perception. Do investigation, perception, or sleight of hand.
Ooh. I'll do perception. It's higher.
Okay.
Oh no. 10.
You can pass inspiration, guys.
Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna inspiration. Oh, that's better. Okay. 23.
You know exactly where the heart is. You can see it like beating like a little red, like a red and black stone up above you.
Taking my dagger out and driving it right through that heart.
Okay, go ahead and make me an attack. You have sneak attack. You're technically, you have ally right next to him too. Did you have 20?
No. I'm just like, I'm excited that I have sneak attack damage. Sorry.
Oh, okay. You were just like.
Okay. 25.
25 hits, definitely.
Okay. 3, so 7. 20 total.
Okay. The heart, when you hit the heart, you deal double damage. How do you kill this thing from 39 hit points?
I drive my dagger through its heart, and like looking at all the death around me, I have a familiarity with this in my eyes, and shed a single tear and say, I'm still a fucking survivor, you stupid son of a bitch, and twist the knife in his heart.
And his entire body goes rigid. You hear, and he looks down, and from within this shadowed body, you can see everything around him, and you feel his rage more than you hear it. Again, fine. Well, I'll be back. And his body starts to explode. Now, Grom, you on the ground right next to him immediately fail the save.
Yeah?
Meaning you're going to take 44 points of damage.
Okay.
Which means that's you're dead, right?
I have 44, yeah.
You really have 44 points exactly?
I have 44.
Okay. Grom, what is your death like as you're consumed by the explosion?
Okay.
It's like an explosion of necrotic energy.
So pretty much I got like it starts like going into the ground and just explodes towards the ground, projecting me like in the air. And I just you see where the tapestry was with like the symbol of the gods, and I just get splattered onto it, and there's just ashes left.
Okay.
All right. 18 for dex save.
Okay, so you'll take half. So you'll take 22, but do you have evasion?
Yes, I have uncanny dodge, so I'm going to take half of that.
Okay. As his body explodes, you're expelled from it. You see, as you fly backwards, Grom, consumed by the darkness. You see the body of Ironjaw, consumed by the darkness. You see the other berserkers lying on the ground, consumed by the darkness. And nowhere can you see Nightshade. You can only assume that something must have happened to him. But as you land, you are alone. It is I leave it to you for the epilogue. Or the prologue, I guess is what it is.
Elvis, having yet again survived, being the only survivor of an outright slaughter, he contemplates what this means for him. He's probably thousands of miles away from home. He's in a strange land that God only knows where, like, what could be lurking in the wilderness for him. Finding no other survivors in Rochester, I believe it's called. he just begins walking. I imagine he knows where the next settlement is.
Yeah, you do.
So he's going to be walking in that direction.
Yeah. And you walk. And by the time you arrive in Lindale, you are haggard. You've got a beard now. You're
A longer beard.
a longer beard. You are parched, your lips cracked. You haven't been able to find water. It's very, very plains here. You're covered in myriad wounds. The infection you got from this darkness is spread. And when you arrive in the city of Lindale, the people kind of look at you warily. I'm assuming you got rid of all signs of being one of the raiders, correct?
Yes, really all I had on my person as far as clothing goes would be the old uniform that I had from the Screaming Cats.
Okay.
It's basically a red hood and tunic that has like the outline of a cat like emblazoned on the breast.
Okay.
But I don't imagine anyone would know what that would mean this far south. So that's the only thing I have as far as imagery or anything on me.
Mm-hmm. And as you approach the town, I mean, they kind of see your clothing and they start approaching you warily. But then you hear it. Elvis, you hear it. In your mind. I told you I'd come back. And that is where we'll end the session.
That was cool.
All right, everybody. Cool. Thank you for playing. It was tons of fun. Last words. We'll start with Baptiste and go over to, man, I don't know what the Joshua and Jimmy. Okay.
Oh, you're muted.
John.
John. That's right.
You know, good old Jimmy.
Good old Jimmy. Okay. So we'll start Baptiste then with John.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. Glad I was part in it. I wasn't expecting to last this long, to be honest. So really, really glad to have played. And yeah, if you got other games or if I can DM for you, all of you, you're welcome. It was awesome. Love it. And +1 for Battling Ram of Doom. Like, sure. Let's go with it. I will pass it to John.
Basically the same thing. This is a fantastic game. I had no idea that Elvis was going to be such an ironic character. And like, fantastic job on that battering ram. Like, I've seen that I've been eyeing that in like the equipment for so long. And as a DM, no one ever takes it. No one ever grabs it. And I've always wanted so badly to see that used in a game. So this is fantastic. Again, I'm free as a DM, as a player, as anything. This was fantastic. And I'll pass it over to Josh.
Your name is Jimmy, not right? It's not Josh.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Okay, that's what I thought. I'm like, somebody's a Jimmy. Somebody.
Yeah, no, that's me. That's me. So yeah, no, like they both said, it's awesome game. Super fun. I really loved the dynamics that this little group had. Yeah, no, the battering ram was like a last minute thing. I just did it like right before the game. I'm like, I think we could spin that gold. So let's go over here and let's see what we got. No, it was pretty awesome. Every one shot I play in, my character dies. Every single one. So, but I guess somebody has to. But no, it was really awesome. I really look forward to hopefully playing with all y'all in the future. Like everybody else, I DM. I'm a player. I just started YouTube channel, like I mentioned earlier. RPG Enlightenment. Just getting it up. So, like I said, go ahead, go over there, check it out. We'll be posting some more stuff here soon.
All right, awesome again. Thank you everybody for playing. This was a great group. This is for a new thing we're doing over an app tab called Call to Adventure. I have never played with any of these people. I didn't know who any of them were for the most part. And it turned out to be a fantastic game. So it just goes to show you that, I mean, we have fantastic players in this community. One last thing I want to plug, anybody who's looking to get into games like this, go to Absolute Tabletop official group on Facebook. That's where this happened. That's where these players came from. That's where this was all made. This is where this all happened. Check that out, Absolute Tabletop official group on Facebook. Also check out Tabletop RPG One Shot group. That's another group that runs games like this. The RPG Brigade is another place. So go ahead and check out all those places if you want to get into games more like this. And thanks everyone for playing. Once again, I'm DM Ty from On a Roll, and I hope that you always find yourselves in your games on a roll. Have a great day, everybody, and thank you for tuning in.